Hello and welcome. Today is Friday, 30th day of October, 2015. My name is Derek and I want to do a video log about long-term gold and silver, and then I want to talk briefly about the spreadsheet that I have last done. And well, you know, one of the things I've been talking about on this channel as far as a risk for owning silver is the North Americans not waking up to what real money is, or more importantly, what our currency model is based on, the Ponzi scheme in which it's created and still running by. No, I don't think that's a concern anymore. I really don't, because this thing is going to collapse whether the North Americans wake up to it or not. And I say that isn't because of Russia and China and some places in South America, Iran, all these other countries that are trading with each other in non-US dollars, within their own currencies, and within gold, and stockpiling gold. India stockpiling silver, all that type of stuff are the signs and the stages towards this dollar collapse. And after rewatching Mike Maloney's Hidden Secrets of Money and the 7 stages of empire for the fiat currency, within the 6th stage, it's getting close to that stage where countries like China will now be exporting US dollars back to the United States. And when that happens, hyperinflation. So basically, it's going to take place. And as far as my personal silver stash is concerned, I look at that as my retirement. Let's just assume that the dollar doesn't collapse for 20 years. I'm 40 now, I'm going to be 60 in 20 years. Well, over the next 20 years, if the dollar doesn't collapse, I'm probably going to keep buying, which means my accumulation will go higher and higher. And I don't want a retirement in any type of equity or bank account and digital numbers. No, I want physical holding, and gold and silver is just that. But I might be able to retire early if this thing does collapse and there's a big, large transfer of wealth that Mike Maloney talks about. So either way I look at it, I'm looking at gold and silver as my retirement. Plain and simple. Now let's just talk about, let's just say person A is planning on selling all their silver once it gets up to 50 again. Everything, every single ounce into cash, and looking to buy back cheap again. Person B is looking to do nothing. Person C is looking to sell just a little bit, and person D is selling a lot for gold. Now, if person A sells everything that they have at $50 an ounce and gets a whole boatload of cash, let's assume the same thing happens in 2011, price goes down to 30 or something, that person buys silver, say they sell 100 ounces, then later on they buy 140, 150, whatever, 160. You're getting a profit on it. But of course, if the price keeps going higher, well, the dollar collapses and you're screwed. And then you got the situation where you do nothing. Well, if you do nothing, you watch it go down, then you wait for it to go back up, you're fine. Might not have as much silver or gold as you want, but you're still fine. Then you have situations where, say, you sell it for gold. Think of this one for a second. Gets really high. You're scared, you want a profit take, you want to sell silver for gold. Why? Well, if the dollar collapses, you'll still be fine because you got gold. You won't get as much of a profit having more gold than silver, because silver will go up about maybe 200% and gold will go up 40% type thing. Yet, say the thing crashes. Silver goes from 50 to 30. Gold goes from 2,000 to 1,700. You see there now, the amount of silver that you sold to buy gold, you could take that same amount of gold and get more silver later on, and you're protected from the dollar collapse the whole way through. So these are the kinds of situations I want to talk about, because back then everyone talked about getting rid of silver, buying lower, and it's a gamble. It'll work sometimes if you sell a little bit of it. Okay, let's just say you sell 15% of your stack for cash at $50. If it goes lower, maybe you buy more. And maybe the stuff that you sell, you buy for other assets, real estate, debts, vehicles, whatever. That's the whole part of the game. Then the price gets up to 100. You sell a bit more. And then if it goes down, maybe down to 40, 50, then you would buy back up. Just different strategies to consider as you play the game, because when you're playing the game, you got to play it for what's best for yourself, and You got to look at your different scenarios and what your purposes of life is. So, finally, let's talk about fantasy football. I got a webpage, ag47fantasy.com. I'm going to talk more about that and the data that I was talking about before to be sorted. I'm going to have more on that website in the next upcoming days. But I got the data sorted. What this is for is fantasy football when you only play 2 games. You need to pick a quarterback, you need to pick a defense, 2 running backs, 3 receivers, a tight end, and your choice of either a running back, receiver, or tight end as well. But when you only choose between 4 quarterbacks, 4 defenses, and so many skilled players, then the likelihood when you have 170 plus thousand people playing of you having the same exact lineup of someone else can be pretty good. So I went through the data, put my first calculation in, and found out that of 170,000 plus lineups, only 24,000 lineups were unique, which meant that first place was $100,000, the prize pool was $450,000, and it was a $3 buy-in. So if there was only about 25,000 unique lineups, $3 buy-in, 100,000 for first place, mathematically, if you could find a way to ensure that you were 90+% likely to have no one share your lineup and be good enough to have a chance of winning, it is actually an extremely profitable scenario. So I'm liking that. So now I got one more calculation to do, put the calculations in, get my results, program crashed. You know, this is normal for me when I'm working with this amount of data. Okay, whatever. You know what? I'll do it later. And I know how to do it without my program crashing again. But basically, what I'm going to find out is how many times people play lineups twice, 3 times, and then go through how aggressive you need to be to have common lineups. Again, this is totally non-silver stuff, but this is what I do to make income so I can actually buy gold and silver or pay bills like rent and food and all those other things you got to pay. But anyway, stuff I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I'll talk to you later on and have yourself a magnificent day.